Hello everyone, I'm JG. Welcome back to Music Forever. Today we're talking about the new single from Brockhampton, Gummy. Alright, so we got this new Brockhampton single here to talk about today. Now, of course, Brockhampton, if you're unfamiliar with this group, they're sort of a hip-hop, experimental alternative kind of hip-hop group that has gained a lot of popularity over the past, I guess you would say, particularly the past few months, I would say, with the release of their newest album, Saturation, that was released back in June. I actually reviewed the album in full here on my channel. I'm going to have a link to that album review in the description down below and annotated at the end of the video if you're curious and you want to check that out, which I recommend you do. And just my quick opinion on that album, it's one of my favorite albums of the year so far. I was really loving that album, and I've still been listening to it constantly since it came out. And while it did only come out about 2 months ago, I still have been listening to it a ton in that short amount of time, and I think it's definitely going to be one of my favorites of the year come December when I make my year-end list. And one thing that I did find really interesting was that the group has also been teasing the release of a second album this year, not Brockhampton 2, Saturation 2. That's going to be coming out. I believe I've heard rumors it's supposed to come out this month in August, though I'm not 100% sure if that's true. But sometime this year, I believe, is when it's coming out. And initially, I was kind of unsure about this project, given how, usually when artists release 2 projects a year, or a double album or something like that, it tends not to work out well. It tends to just feel like there's only one album's worth of good quality, with about another album's worth of mediocre filler quality. Yet, if there's anything that this single, as well as the quality of just their first Saturation album as a whole, is kind of showing me, is that that's not really going to be the case with the second album that they should be releasing soon, because I'm really liking this new single here that they released the other day, and I'm really liking the single, and I think it's a good introduction to the band as well, because in this track it's more of a hip-hop centric track. I know Brockhampton have also kind of used R&B kind of influences in their music at times, but this track is kind of a more straightforward sort of hip-hop track, and in the track you get to hear a lot of the different members of this group doing a verse on their own. And I do like how you get to see all the personality of all the different MCs in this group here on this one track. One person does their verse and another person, and you just get to hear all the differences in kind of like the way that they rap here on this project. I was talking about in my album review for Saturation how every member of this group, despite the fact that there's so many of them, each of them have their own sort of personality, and they all kind of stand out in their own way. And this track right here really demonstrates that, at least for the members of the group, in terms of their rapping capabilities, because you get to hear all their differences in their rapping, but still the high quality that they all provide here. It's overall just a really awesome track, and they just deliver some great lines here as well. And also the beat on this track, this beat is just stellar. Kind of like the beats on the first Saturation album, which are also great, but this one is also great. It just goes hard, and it goes nicely with what they're saying here over the beat itself. It's just a nice track overall, I would say. It's a great song, and I think it's a great teaser for whatever project they're going to be releasing, hopefully later on this year. And it's kind of to the point now where I'm kind of excited to hear the second project, whereas initially I was a bit iffy, given that I wasn't sure how they'd be able to pull through after making such a great album earlier this year. In such a short amount of time, I was kind of concerned that this album wouldn't be up to par with the first one. But if this single is any kind of a sign of what's to come in the future, I think that the second album does have the potential to be great like the first one. I'm not sure if it'll be better, but it still has the potential to be great. And overall, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this new album whenever it drops. Like I said, I've still been playing the first one a ton, and you should definitely check it out if you haven't done so already, because it's a great album. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything I want to say about this track here. It's a good song. Definitely check it out if you're a fan of this group. It's definitely not one that you want to let fly under your radar. Check it out. And I think that sums up everything here. And don't forget to check out that review of Saturation I did here on my channel, which is once again going to be linked down in the description below, along with all the links to all my social medias if you want to follow those. And of course, it's going to be here on the screen whenever this video is finished. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future album reviews, including that review of Saturation 2 whenever that decides to drop, along with other hip-hop albums, rock albums. I pretty much do tons of music-related stuff and some movie-related stuff here on the channel. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that stuff. Comment down below your thoughts on the track. Thanks for watching, and stay golden.